Hello to the pessimistic, optimistic, and everyone in between. My name is Connor Philippe. Welcome back to the Minnesotan Sports Podcast. And I don't think any Vikings fan was expecting the potential ending to this game. I am currently watching it. 9 seconds left. Caleb Williams running out onto the field. They have to go like 85 yards in one play, basically. So the like laterals and all the Chicago Chi-Town miracle or whatever they'd call it could still happen here. I'll talk a little bit about just the amazing second half for J.J. McCarthy in just a second, but first I'm going to react to this potentially last play for the Chicago Bears. Caleb Williams ending up most likely with a much lower QB rating than J.J. McCarthy, which, funny how that works out. Oh my gosh. That's going to be an illegal procedure probably because the ball hit the... Either that or it was an illegal shift. But anyway, the Vikings' first half was an illegal shift. So that makes it even worse. 5 seconds left now at the 10-yard line. The Vikings started off the worst half I've potentially seen in recent memory. Obviously, the Dobbs 3-0 Raiders game came to mind when I started watching it. It was growing pains in the first half. And a lot of us Vikings fans watching it were like, okay, this is probably going to be growing pains for this game, maybe even a couple games while J.J. McCarthy gets going. And even that would have been fine. But it was just kind of demoralizing, especially with some of the drops and everything. Okay, here we go. They're going to throw this one short. Lateral this one. And he's tackled. And the ball comes out. And the Vikings win. That is incredible. The Vikings, not only were they down to end the first half, they were down by even more to start the fourth. They were down 17-6 to start out this fourth quarter. They went and scored 21 points and now win this game 27-24. And first of all, the first thing I want to say, I went on social media. I wish I would have taken some screenshots and kept some receipts on this. There's so many people saying bench McCarthy, what's the name of the backup QB from Minnesota? I can't even remember at this point. Brosmer. People saying to put him in. People saying, man, we really let go of Darnold for this guy. All those comments. And then right before the end of this game, I went back onto social media and the first comment was like, man, JJ might be the future. I'm not going to deny the fact that I was definitely down in the dumps to start out the second half. I was pretty upset about how the game was going. I certainly wasn't going to go to social media about it because I can recognize that it's our quarterback's first game of his entire career. He's the youngest starting quarterback in the NFL, playing without the one of the best offensive linemen in the league in Christian Darrisaw. That was a major factor in the first half. You're playing without Jordan Addison, one of the best wide receiver twos in the NFL. You're playing without a couple of pieces on the defensive side of the ball as well. We didn't think this was going to be an easy game, and that I honestly predicted the Bears would win this game. We knew it was going to be ugly no matter what, but it was ugly, and then we battled through. And I talked about how what I wanted out of this Vikings season was to feel good about J.J. McCarthy, not even necessarily playing really well this year, but playing well enough to show both the capability to improve his skills enough to be a starting quarterback in the NFL and be a franchise quarterback, and also the leadership to do that same thing. If that meant 7 wins, if that meant 10 wins, as long as I felt good about that, that's really all we needed as Vikings fans. And obviously there's a lot of season left to go, and as much as we talk about this and that, it was still the Bears. The Bears are not a great team. We knew this. But going into a hostile territory, J.J. McCarthy has not played an NFL game in his entire career. He also has not played a meaningful football game in a year and 10 months maybe. All the way back in, closer to a year and 7-8 months. And those were major factors for why we didn't think he was going to play good today. He had some of the most adversity I've seen for a while for a starting quarterback in his first start. He had so much pressure right out of the gate. Clearly, there were some miscommunication problems that, it's growing pains with either a young quarterback or just an offense playing for the first time together to start out a season. Like, there's going to be those miscommunications, especially in Chicago in a hostile environment. He was dealing with all of that. He dealt with a couple uncharacteristic drop passes from Jefferson. Thielen missed one as well. He was dealing with the absolutely atrocious Soldier Field turf that we saw before the game. Like, there are literally patches of grass that looked like they were different length on the field from that Avenged Sevenfold concert. So all of those factors made it so that even for some quarterbacks that ended up having great careers, their first game of their career, they probably would have folded in that situation. J.J. McCarthy drove down the field multiple times, and obviously the running game was a huge factor, and we knew it had to be in order for him to succeed. But he did not just run the ball all the way into the end zone. 2 straight dots to his receivers for touchdowns, and then running it himself. Jordan Mason and Aaron Jones didn't see the end zone in the second half, unless I'm remembering it wrong, but J.J. McCarthy did it himself. And so for all the people commenting that J.J. McCarthy was just a handoff merchant, that he was not going to translate in his game to the NFL, we already know that that's not true. Will he be a great quarterback in this league? Will he be a generational talent? That's far from the case yet. There's a lot we still need to see. And that case, that remains the factor regardless of whether he played a bad or good game. It's his first game of his career, and obviously we're going to have to continue to play it by ear how the rest of his career is going to go because it's such a small sample size. But the one thing you can't say is that J.J. McCarthy showed his true colors to all those people saying that he was a handoff merchant. He was the one that took the game into his own hands. The running game helped him out a lot, but he was a leader. He was the one firing up people on the sidelines. He gave up a pick 6 to put his team down by multiple scores. That has to crush you as a young quarterback. And he still battled back. He still ended up being the one to dive into the end zone for what ended up being the winning touchdown. And it got kind of scary there at the end, but that was just an amazing game to finish it out anyway by J.J. McCarthy. And it's kind of funny because people were talking about the pressure on J.J. All of a sudden, Caleb Williams staring down an under 70 QBR in his first game of the season. All of a sudden, the pressure's right back on the Bears. The Bears literally had every factor going for them in this game. All of the things that J.J. McCarthy was going through, the injuries, the Vikings were completely screwed in the first 5 games of their schedule, especially with the young quarterback. The Bears literally had so much to pounce on, and they still were not able to do it. And it's just like, I hate using a Bears mantra and that the Bears still suck. That was kind of a Packers joke, but it's certainly a joke that the entire NFC North can continue to chant for quite a while because, yes, the Bears do still suck. If there's one game for the Bears to win this season, it's this one, because this is the worst the Vikings offense is going to be all season long, and they still scored 27 points. But enough about the offense. That defense was really what made me feel good about this game. As well as J.J. McCarthy did, as exciting as it was to see that ending, other than that, it was kind of a weird, it wasn't garbage time, but it felt like garbage time. Other than that last touchdown, the Vikings defense ended up giving up 10 points other than that the entire rest of the game. That pick 6 obviously made it 17 points. The Vikings gave up 10 points in the first half, and up until that last touchdown, put up a goose egg. And the part that I thought was so awesome about it was that we stuffed the run. DeAndre Swift is a good running back, and the Bears spent not as much money as us, but a good amount of money in the offseason shoring up their offensive line, especially in the interior. And we completely stuffed them. Our off-season acquisitions did not go unnoticed, as Jonathan Allen put up a great game. Hargrave got a sack. And it just shows, when you're trying to make a comeback late in these games, stopping the run is everything. And we have these high-powered running offenses in this NFC North that are going to be crucial to stop throughout the course of this season. And we showed that we can do that. And when I say, and that's what I keep talking about when I say J.J. McCarthy just needs to be a top 20 quarterback in this league, and the Vikings can win 10 games. Because that defense, like obviously it is still the Bears offense, but it certainly has the capability with J.J. McCarthy having a more level head, going into a game with a lot more confidence. It has the potential to drive us forward. And if the running game continues to play as well as it did today, then we could be in pretty good shape this season. But again, incredibly small sample size. We'll see what JJ does. Another primetime game next week, but this one's at home. And I can't wait to see what JJ McCarthy does when he doesn't have a hostile Soldier Field crowd screaming in his face the entire game. When he has the offensive home support, when he can work on offense with no communication problems, this Vikings offense really could pounce on this Falcons team. And the Falcons offense was pretty bad in week 1, so I can't wait to see what this defense does against them too. But on top of that, Will Reichert, awesome to see him booting a 59-yard field goal. You know, people forget, like, he played really well, then he got hurt, and he didn't play very well to end the season. And people acted like, oh, well, we made the wrong decision. No, we didn't, because when you have a leg injury as a kicker, obviously that completely changes your mechanics. So to see him nail that 59-yarder was everything for this team as well. So everything was firing on no cylinders in the first half, and the team came alive. And I love seeing the resolve and the fight and the heart of this team in so much adversity, and it was an amazing game to watch. And obviously, Jefferson is going to hope to have a lot more success in the coming weeks, but he still did what he needed to do, and that's all that matters. So I'm really excited about this game. Like I said, going up against the Falcons next week on Sunday Night Football. Michael Penix Jr. really seemed to struggle. Hopefully we can suffocate him on Sunday night. And like I said, home crowd. We'll see what JJ and this offense can do without all of that noise. So thanks so much for watching this one. Please let me know in the comments how you felt at the end of the first half and now how you feel now, because those are very different feelings for us Vikings fans. So thanks so much for watching this one. Bears still suck. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the flip side.